These two grown men had never seen the Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? We're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
No chance! That's what you got. Up against a machine too strong. Pretty politicians buying souls from us are puppets.
These two grown men had never seen the Simpsons. It's America's Barley Basket.
Welcome, everyone, to episode number 73 of America's Barley Basket. I'm your host, Marlon Welds, alongside host Nathan Folzebach. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlon.
How are you?
I don't know how you can see me right now. How do you think I am looking at me?
I think you're fucking primo.
What am I?
I think you're killing it.
Describe my appearance.
Okay, we're going to work our way up. We got black socks. Black ankle socks, to be clear. We got an alarming amount of bare white legs.
A lot of legs showing.
Right around I'm going to say the top quarter of the thigh is where the basketball shorts start.
Yep. Some awkward bruising, maybe. Well, that way we could discuss where those bruises came from. That's,
rough lover?
Yeah, right. It's my chubby legs sometimes hit my desk when I roll into it. So that's what that's
sure.
from. But we can say rough. Well, we're going to edit this, so yeah. Rough lover. What kind of sex am I having where I have the bruised inner thighs?
The good kind.
You think this is a mole, or should I worry about that?
That's fine.
I think so.
Yeah, that doesn't look
weirdly shaped.
I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah.
That seems
you think
like
I got too much or not enough leg hair?
It's tough for me to judge. I feel like if I were to say too much or too little, it feels like I would be judging, which I don't want to do. I will say it is less than I expected.
Okay, there we go.
It is less than I would have expected.
Thank you.
And after the black basketball shorts, we got a full zip hoodie.
Yeah, it's a real hell of a combo.
It really ties it all together.
For a lot of athletic wear. Nike socks, Champion hoodie.
Ooh.
Champion's coming back.
Are they really?
Yeah. Oh, they are? Did you not know?
No, I didn't.
Champion is hot.
Oh.
Right? Who would have thought? Like, cool kids wear Champion now, which, as we've discussed before, starter is trash clothes you buy at Walmart, and now Champion is what you would wear if you wanted to impress a girl if you took her to a high school dance.
Insane. Like Champion, I think of Champion as being below starter.
Oh my God, multiple levels.
Yeah.
Charter is what Champion is what your mom buys for you at Kmart when you're in a pinch because you shit your basketball shorts before the game. They just need to be blue.
Doesn't matter. You're already crying anyway.
Yeah. I have enough nicknames. I do not need shit pants. I'm not going to be shit pants.
Oh God. So yeah, you seem to be living your best life over there.
Not gonna lie, I could use a good scrub. Long weekend on the road. Then I get a chance to wash the hair. That's greasy boy up top.
Got a little grime, got a little sheen.
Get the face. I took care of the face and the party holes, so those are okay. But I need a full.
The hooker bath.
I need a detailing. I don't just need a fucking truck stop quick car wash. I need to get put up on the rack.
Someone's got to get in here with some Q-tips.
Right, yeah. Dig into the crevasse. The multiple too many crevasses on this body.
Crevassi?
Yeah.
Crevassier.
You need to do a wet towel, a dry towel, get the grime, because if you just get in there with a wet soapy towel, just going to push the grime
mud
around.
It up.
Yeah, right? Yep. Yeah. You got to remove, then clean.
Did you have a good comedy weekend out on the road? You were out and I was not, which is a pretty rare occasion for us.
I was in Leith, North Dakota, population 15. Thankfully, most of them showed. That's because you're really relying on a good hometown turnout when the whole town consists of 15. But it was fine.
Good.
Not conducive to comedy, but we made it work.
Yeah? They liked you?
They did. We had a choice. We could either block, because we had to straddle one side of a pool table. We could either block the hall to the bathroom, or we could block the hall to where all the finger foods were laid out, the Ritz crackers and summer sausage slices.
Snacks. Okay.
So we blocked the food, and I think we made the right choice. No one stiff-armed me to get to the salami, so I was worried. Yeah. Yeah, so it was fine. It was fine. A lot of drive. Sold some T-shirts, which is always good.
Moving them shirts.
Yeah. I'm on a fixed income. Got to push them shirts.
I'll be out with you this weekend. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. That'll be a lot of fun.
In the meantime, we have motherfucking Simpsons to talk about.
Yeah,
Season 17 trundles along.
Yep.
We started it last week, and now we're in it this week.
Did it. We are starting off. Are we episode 6 to begin things off?
You got
Look
it.
at that. This episode had a nice bow. It started with episode 1 through 5, 6 through 10.
I like how this happens.
And they're going to dick it up. But of course, we're not going to be lucky enough to have like a multiple of 5.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah. Let's take a look at season 6. Why not?
Let's do it.
We're going to be
Season
here.
17, episode 6.
Season 17, episode 6.
Attaboy.
There, we did it. See Homer run. Starts with Homer decorating the house for Father's Day Eve, which I got a kick out of.
Yeah, I like that it's just Christmas. Like he hangs his stocking and everything.
Yep. And Lisa attempts to tell him that there is no such thing, and he starts tearing up. This is my kind of dumb Homer, like big, dumb baby Homer.
Yeah.
Like, yep. This is instead of like ruining your children's life, dumb Homer. So. So Marge kind of realizes how important this is. So they got, hey kids, we're gonna go get your dad a Father's Day present. And then I like in this too, it's like, well, if I give you the money, it's like you're just, Bart asks Marge for present money. It's like, well, like if I give you the money, it's not really a gift for you. It's like, well, where do you get your money, Mom?
Yep,
Jesus,
that was funny.
That hits close to home for Marge.
That was a deep one from Bart.
So they go to the mall right away, and they're looking for Father's Day gifts. And Bart gets him a leather buddy, which I like that name, Leatherman.
Yeah, Leathermans were everywhere when I was. I remember when that happened. I remember when all the men where I came from, all the dads switched from a jackknife to a Leatherman.
Oh yeah, a Leatherman, or the other op was the Gerber. Was the other Gerber tool?
Gerber made one. I think Gator made one.
Gator too.
Also.
Yep. I for the longest time had an OG Leatherman, and it's a nice thing to have if you don't have a full tool set. Just throw it in your junk drawer in your apartment. You can fix a lot of things with a Leatherman.
Yeah, it's not the end all be all, but it'll do in a pinch.
I wouldn't want to rebuild a car motor with just a Leatherman, but
throw one in in your glove compartment.
Yeah. You need to tighten something on a cupboard door. There you go.
I'm always looking to tighten things.
Yeah.
I'm always saying that.
Yeah, that's what I love about you. So that Bart gets him a practical gift, and Lisa gets him some like a homemade art project, which was very a cool idea, like both cute and fun.
It's adorable.
Of course,
Homer doesn't like it.
Homer, of course, yeah, yep. And then it doesn't end there. He like kind of fucks Lisa over a couple more times. Doesn't mean to, but he's being dumb Homer at this point.
Yeah,
it makes Lisa cry, which nobody likes to see Lisa cry.
I love the sight gag of him being like, "Oh no, I do like it. We'll hang it on the fridge," and he puts it on the fridge with a magnet, but it's a thick book.
Yeah.
So of course it slides down the fridge, falls into the water dispenser on the fridge, which goes off, and then ruins it. And then Homer is like, "Well, I'm sorry, it's not my fault. It's this stupid magnet." And Lisa cries and goes running off, and then he looks, and it's like a clay magnet, and it says "Made by Lisa."
Yeah.
For Dad from Lisa.
It was like a Father's Day gift from 2 years prior.
Holy shit, that was funny.
Oh, so good. So Lisa's in a bad way, which leads to her flipping shit at school, which includes throwing Wendell's thermos over the fence.
Yeah.
Poor Wendell.
Pretty rare Wendell sighting.
He just wanted a temperature-controlled beverage, and now that's ruined. So we get a couple decent gigs, and she's losing her shit, and it ends with them going to the school psychologist. Homer and Marge are there. And basically, it's like you have to help Lisa regain her trust, or she's always going to dislike men.
Yeah.
And what's going for. So it's like, Homer, you got to win her back. And his attempt to do that is he dresses up as the safety salamander, which is going to teach the kids all about safety. And of course, Homer's terrible at this.
Yeah.
He ain't no good at it. He starts a fire in the auditorium, which nearly causes a great white type situation.
Because he blocks the door with that mascot suit.
Yeah, kind of like, because all those mascot suits are dummy thick. They got them hips.
Yeah.
Barney. I think Barney started the phenomenon that we got to have mascots that look good in jeans.
Yeah. Every children's foam mascot has to have a big old dumper.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, because there's freaks. Hollywood's ran by freaks, Marlon.
Every cartoon lizard's got to have this fucking dump truck ass.
Yeah, it's all this because they're reptilians that run Hollywood, Marlon. That's what it is. It's a rep. Well, that's for another podcast.
Need them big egg birthing hips.
We need a big egg sack to propagate our reptilian species. So he starts a fire. Then after all this, there's a giant car pileup, which was due to Bart succumbing to peer pressure and stealing the Bart Boulevard sign, which, to be honest, that's a hard thing to resist when you're a kid.
Especially if you're a kid like Bart. You're going to steal that
I can't believe he needed the older bullies to goad him into it.
Right,
That seems like something already would have happened. So when that happens, I mean, it's a disaster. There's car on top of car on top of car, but who should show up to save the day? The safety salamander. And there's some good sight gags there. It's Homer's trying to think who all gets saved. I mean, it's a ton.
Yeah, he's pulling people out of burning cars. One of them being Nelson.
Yeah.
I like when he pulls Nelson out of the car. Nelson's like, "Please, my mom is in there." And Homer looks in. He's like, "No, she's not." And Nelson laughs, does his ha-ha, and then collapses again.
Yeah. He went out doing what he loved. And during this time, there's a recall election on Mayor Quimby. Which recall elections... It must differ state to state. Seems like there's a recall for the governor of California at least once a decade.
All the time. We just had one.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah,
why is it that easy?
No idea.
And so during this, Lisa convinces Homer to run for mayor as a safety salamander because, she has all these ideas she thinks will help Springfield, and Homer would be her way to implement those. So if you're Homer and you want to win over your daughter, seems like
run
a
for
no-brainer.
mayor.
Yep. Which he does. And I think we get it at the debates where we get the full name of the cat lady.
Yeah, I didn't write it down, but we get her full name.
Eleanor Abernathy.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, Eleanor Abernathy is the cat lady. And Homer is immediately killing it at the polls. That is until Marge washes his salamander suit, because I could only imagine how bad it stinks.
At one point, he pulls the collar out and just vomits into the suit.
So sick.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God, that's so fucking funny.
Someone that grew up in a small town, every small town has a guy that just wears coveralls, just a barfly alcoholic.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Coveralls come on probably in September, don't leave until April, and they probably nothing on underneath. They reach that point in life, and they're just probably pissing them once a week. Oh my God! What?
I'm sure they stand on their own by the end of the winter.
If those coveralls could talk, they'd scream. Oh, so sick.
I very recently thought, I bet I could rock a pair of just denim bib overalls.
There you go.
I came dangerously close to Googling my size of coveralls, which I know would have led to me owning some bib denim overalls.
You gonna wear a shirt underneath or just a hanky around your neck like the Dexys Midnight Runner lead singer? That'd be a good look.
I want to say that I would church it up if I'm going out, but I can't guarantee that.
Well, if that happens, we will provide pictures to our listeners. So Homer went from leading the polls. Ideas did not change, but he's no longer a man in a fucking salamander costume. So Springfield, eternally idiotic, which this show has proven time and time again, turn on Homer. They're not going to vote for a man. They wanted to vote for a salamander.
Yeah.
And since no one got the 5% necessary to challenge, Quimby stays as mayor. And the episode, we're getting pretty close to the end at this point.
Yeah.
Episode ends with Lisa telling Homer she's his hero for trying to make Springfield a better place. And they have that father-daughter dance.
Yeah.
A very, very wholesome episode.
Yeah, a good Lisa and Homer episode, which we know I love.
Comedy-wise, is okay.
It was fine. There's a couple real good... Man, there's a joke earlier on where Homer is like trying to make it up to Lisa, and he's going to take her to a movie, and they go to the fucking movie, and he's trying to say, like, one adult and one baby, because he's trying to save some money. And she's like, I'm not a baby, and runs off. And then there's that awkward moment of him standing there talking to the guy in the ticket taking booth, and he's just like trying to make small talk. He's like, so that your jacket on the back of that chair? Like,
That's a good
that fucking wrecked me. I'm absolutely using that the next time I need to make awkward small talk, because I hate making awkward small talk.
Oh my God, yeah.
So so is that your jacket on the back of that chair?
You know what we get a lot in this batch is that it's not even the same character. I don't think it's the same voice. He's always like in a form of retail. He's a worker. He's always worker, and he always says "Pally, hey Pally," like
yes,
and he's kind of sarcastic. Like he will always kind of like backhandedly make a comment about any dumb thing that someone does.
Yeah,
so,
he shows up a couple of times this week. I think he might have been the guy working the ticket window.
Yep, that's what made me think of it. There's a chance that was him, yeah.
There was also that insane joke in this episode where we reveal that Homer has sold he and Marge's wedding photo album to Moe, and we get that scene of Moe in the bar fucking gluing his face over Homer's on all of the photos in their wedding album.
And the bar flies are there.
Yep. Like, hey, can we get a drink? You shut up and keep handing me Moe heads.
Yeah. With that little shoebox full of Moe heads.
Oh my God. And he's like singing a little song to himself, like, Moe is happy on wedding day because this is for sure a real thing that happened. Like, Jesus Christ, psychopath Moe.
A lot like our Millhouse, the development of Moe over the last like 10 seasons has been one of the better developments.
Huge fan of Moe. Laughs. It was kind of just middle of the road, but I like a good wholesome one.
Mm-hmm. Which I also think we get a bit during this in this batch. They're very wholesome episodes.
Yeah, there's some softies in this one for sure. Episode number 7 is The Last of the Red Hat Mamas. We start off with an Easter egg hunt at Quimby Manor.
What is... Do we get an explanation of what Quimby Manor is? That just like the mayoral
estate?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which does that exist anywhere? But again, he's supposed to be a Kennedy, so it's almost like their Camelot.
I think we've visited the Quimby Manor before, because there's that one episode where you meet that like dipshit Quimby, right? The shitty Yale yuppie douche.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So we get an Easter egg hunt, which I effing loved as a child. I'm sure
we had Easter egg hunts.
Did you really? Like, I'm picturing it. It was like a hunt for actual chicken eggs. It was like, will we survive this spring? Only if our 4-year-old can gather enough of these sacred eggs.
If they don't, we're dead.
Then we might have to eat the 4-year-old because he's the littlest.
He didn't get enough eggs.
Yeah.
So.
Into the calf shoot so we can tenderize you for a couple weeks. I loved it. I think it was like a park board thing in my hometown. The way it worked is the eggs had numbers on them, and you picked your eggs, and whatever your number was, that's what prize you got.
Okay.
And usually it was like 95% of the eggs were a carton. I always remember this in my head. You know, like the little cartons of milk you got in school?
Yeah.
They'd be cartons but of orange drink. I just remember that. It was like this little white carton of orange drink, and then like the smallest of candy. Not even like a mini Snickers, like nothing to get excited.
Like a Tootsie Roll?
Yeah, like a thing of Smarties or like 3 Tootsie Rolls or something like that. So like, and I don't know how I was, again, I was big for my age, so I was pretty athletic for that little of a kid. I'm just gobbling up all these eggs. I'm so happy. I'm looking at my mom, look at all these fucking eggs I got. And I see, and she watched all this happen, which must be so wonderful as well. She saw me walk past this kind of sad, like mentally handicapped kid. I don't want to get Me Too'd or whatever I'm supposed to say here.
Sure,
yeah. I was going to say dumb, but we don't say that anymore.
No, we don't. No.
And he was all down in his luck. I just handed him like a couple eggs. And my mom's like, oh, that is so wonderful.
Aww.
And like I kind of shepherded him up there to trade it. He's so happy. He's got his eggs in his hand. And I dump like 47 eggs, which means I got like 4 quarts of orange drink and like a bunch of like tangerine Tootsie Roll candies I don't want to eat. Like, oh, terrific. I watch him hand an egg and he wins a skateboard. And my mom had to have a talk because I was like, I'm taking that skateboard. That kid
was mine.
cannot ride a skateboard. So this is my skateboard. God put that egg. Baby Jesus left those eggs for me. My rightful destiny is to be a skateboard kid. It's like, no.
I love that one of the ones you gave away was for the skateboard.
I swear to God, that's true. I swear to God, that's true. And I also think my mom, which I can't believe she was practical, to think like, honey, there's no paved roads in the trailer park. It's just you can't ride that on gravel anyhow. Like I would have cared. I just would have kept falling.
Yeah,
you know, like
you just kick and just eat shit immediately every time.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what you get for being a good Samaritan.
And Nathan was never nice to anyone again.
Never gave an egg
That's
away.
your fable.
All these eggs are mine.
I was expecting that story to be like, so I handed him some eggs and he smiled a bunch, and then I DDT'd him and yelled heel turn, and I got all the eggs.
I was feeling so good. I'm like, no, because I it wasn't even like a self bubble because I was 5. I don't think my brain was developed enough, but like it's like. He's happy. Hey, I'm happy.
Look
hey,
what I
let's get our
did.
treats.
Yep.
Hey, me and my new buddy are gonna have treats, and he's a fucking skateboard. I can remember the lady because it was like an 80s skateboard because it was when they were just getting late enough. They were too big. Skateboards went from being tiny in like the late 70s to being too big. It was a tube with all these cool neon colors and shit. Like God. I don't own anything cool.
And the one chance you had, you gave it away because you're a good person, Nathan.
That ended it now.
Never again.
Trying to be a supervillain. Was burnt by kindness.
That's a supervillain's origin story is what that is.
Never again. Now I'm a proponent of eugenics. They're here to take our skateboards. What is he talking about? Skateboards?
He's running for comptroller. What's he... Jeez. Gotta start somewhere. Yeah. We get a great gag of little Ralphie Wiggum with his Easter basket, and he picks up an egg and puts it in the basket, which has no bottom, and it falls on the grass, and he looks around and then sees it and goes, yay, and picks it up and drops it again and sees it, yay, and they stick with that for too long, and it's so funny.
That's it, because Bart watches long enough to get frustrated. That's what I like.
Yeah, they pan over and Bart is just staring at him, annoyed.
I gave a skateboard to Ralphie Wiggum. That's what I did. I think Ralphie Wiggum can ollie. Think he can do a grind? No.
Oh, fuck.
No Heelys with Ralphie. He'd lay on it and push himself up and down the driveway.
On his stomach, just swimming.
In the yard on the grass, making no progress.
I liked that bit a lot. And then I went from laughing to like angry because I don't like a sad Maggie, and Maggie can't get any eggs. Every time she finds one of the other kids swipes it right in front of her. So we get sad Maggie, which I don't like. But then we get Dad Homer bust in there with some dad justice and takes a bunch of the eggs away from those kids and gives them to Maggie, and then has a confrontation with a Easter Bunny security guard.
Yeah, that was good too.
And they get into a very like Peter and chicken fight where they're knocking the shit out of each other. Meanwhile, some of the wives of Springfield are getting a tour of the manor, and Homer and the Easter Bunny come crashing through the window. Marge is super embarrassed by Homer, and they're all thrown out of the manor. Tour's over. So now Marge is bummed because she doesn't have any friends, and like that was my chance to make some friends, but you're an oaf, so now I don't have any friends.
There's such a great line. It's Marge, you have plenty of friends. There's Lisa and the stove.
Yeah,
holy
I wrote that down
shit,
too. That's a great joke. That. You have lots of friends. Lisa and the stove.
You couldn't even get a second human. It was Lisa, who's 8.
And your child. Like, that's not a friend. Lisa, in the meantime, finds a flyer on the bulletin board at school to study in Rome. She wants to go to Rome to study for the summer, but she needs to know Italian, and she just impulsively tells Skinner that she knows Italian, which is not true. Meanwhile, Homer is trying to find Marge a friend. He, stalks that woman in the grocery store, which was funny. Homer is very dumb in this latest season here. A lot
of dumb Homer.
But cartoonishly very stupid. He's getting a little Peter Griffin-y.
Yep. This man could not maintain even the simplest union job at a nuclear power plant.
Exactly.
Which, to their credit, he never goes to work anymore.
Yeah. They even mention it in the last episode because, what's his name? Smithers runs that negative ad campaign about how he just doesn't come to work anymore. He just hires a hobo to sit at his desk.
We get a little, some sad Marge scenes. We get Everybody Hurts by R.E.M.
Yeah.
Which is a good... Something I like about a network show like this is they got the money to get big music,
licensed
to pay
music,
out the nose for it, You ever go through an REM phase?
I never did. I like Orange Crush. I don't love it, but I like it, and I like End of the World as We Know It as a novelty. That's kind of a novelty song. Yeah. But I mean, Losing My Religion is fine.
Yeah, so I think I'm a little in deeper than you are. Then I could, but I've only enjoyed because REM was one of the first indie bands, predating the grunge, 88 or so. They finally signed to a major, but they put out I think it was IRS Records was their indie, and some people just fucking creamed their capris over them.
Yeah, some folks really like REM.
Yeah, push their glasses up a little farther. I liked them before they signed to Epic or whatever major they were on.
When I think of a college indie rock band that pretentious people odds are I'm going to think REM pretty quickly,
or at least especially if they're older than I am.
Yeah.
If you're 48 and you're trying to go for hipster street cred, you were probably a huge REM fan in college.
Or Elvis Costello.
Yeah. REM has a great side story. Is they were signed the biggest record contract in history right as they completely lost any commercial relevancy. I think it was after Monster, which had Orange Crush on it.
Okay.
After that they were done. Not done, but I don't think they ever had a hit. I don't think there was one hit on New Adventures of Hi-Fi, and that was the first record on that giant 8-album deal that I think they just mercifully trotted to the late aughts. And they did put out some good songs. They just never had another big hit.
Radio hit.
The closest was the hit they had on the Man on the Moon soundtrack. I was about to say, it's a
Man
great
on the Moon.
song.
Man on the Moon's a great song.
Yeah. I think the song was called The Great Divide.
I think you're right.
Yeah, that was a catchy song. But again, it's not like teen girls were rushing out to buy the single.
Yeah.
Someone lost their job over that record deal.
They're not going to see this bad Jim Carrey movie because they like the song.
Oh, is it bad? See, I've heard good things about it.
I don't care for it.
Really?
Yeah, it's not my jam. I'm also not a massive Kaufman fan or anything.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know. I always thought that movie, it felt a little try hard. Boy, we really want to make this emotional drama when the story, I feel, isn't really there.
In my head, I always put that movie with The People versus Larry Flint.
Oh, really?
They're within 5 years or 4 or 5 years of each other, and they're also both an actor really delving into the role of a human, you know, it's a biopic, you know. They both really, Woody Harrelson as Larry Flint and Jim Carrey as Kaufman. And I think the same friend that I know has discussed these movies loves them both. That's why they're in my head too.
The People versus Larry Flint is great.
Is it?
I love that movie a lot. I think Man on the Moon is fine, but it's not. I don't know. It didn't blow my world up.
You like a pornographer more than a comedian.
Yeah, I like porn more than I like Taxi.
Yeah,
you got it. You got
Hot take alert, everybody. Boy, and Jesus, calling Hustler porn, man. That is. There are a few things I find more unsexual than a Hustler magazine. Hustler makes my shit crawl inside my torso.
Oh, is this supposed to be titillating?
Oh, the joke. It's just, it's so much of it's racist. Why is it so racist? Why got so much racism? This is for truckers to beat off before they get back on the road.
Or while they're on the road.
Yeah, right. I am pretty sure I followed a trucker that was fucking himself on this last road trip. That guy was doing figure eights on the interstate. That is not how you drive a semi, sir.
He's got to enjoy the weather while it's nice, you know, because it's going to, here within a month or so,
God,
you ain't going to be able to road tug while you're driving.
Yeah, 10 and 2 then. But meanwhile, while, you know, the weather's fine, he's fucking a thermos full of Jell-O, risking the lives of everyone on the interstate.
Just slapping it against that big steering wheel.
Yeah, hope we get lucky and get where the turning knob is. The chrome center tingles against my skin.
Turn real fast, hit it a bunch of times. Brrr, like it's the Wheel of Fortune clicker.
Nobody wins but me. He says that to the captive girl in the sleeper.
I thought you were going to say the bloodhound on the passenger seat.
Oh, truckers probably don't kidnap people that often. I'm going to go on record and say that, because most truckers
You're so brave.
have never stolen a human.
Yeah.
We're pro-trucker here at it. We go on. We're
I'll say
pro-trucker
I'm
here.
pro-trucker. Yeah, absolutely. Not to bring it back to REM again, but if I'm gonna sit down with some nice indie rock of that era featuring a skinny bald man, I'm reaching for Live every time.
Oh,
my brain thinks those are the same band.
Oh, really?
Which I know that they're not.
Yeah. I don't dislike Live like some people do, but Live seems like it's a band that gets shit on a lot now.
Really?
The lead singer is very up his own ass, very like.
I'd believe that.
He was kind of a proto Scott Stapp in that way. Thought he was kind of like a.
You take that back. Fucking Scott Stapp is garbage.
This is coming from Live. And I'm alive enough, and I like this deep cut singles off of the Lakini's Juice album, or Secret Sumati. Lakini's Juice was the single. It sounds like we're talking about side characters from Mario 2. Okay, if you go through the seventh door in Secret Sumati, you'll have to fight Lakini's Juice. That's how you get the Takuni suit.
Holy shit, they do sound like Mario Baddies.
Yeah. There's like a late single called "Turn My Head." It's a real sweet, soft, gentle song. So
I'll listen to all of Throwing Copper and not skip a track every time. I love Throwing Copper all the way through, and I really like The Dolphins Cry a lot. I adore that song, like more than I should.
Boy, talk about an album that did they even release another single?
I don't think so.
Yeah. I think they were just baffled that they had one more hit in them. It's like, oh fuck!
Oh god!
Yeah, right. We did it. One more time, guys.
Quick, we got to make a music video for this dolphin song.
Yeah. Do we wear dolphin costumes? What are you doing here? We got this camera for 4 hours.
And Kowalczyk's trying to zip up a dolphin costume. Oh, God.
That good name drop on the lead singer. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I saw him, I watched him at the Fargo Theater here. I'm going to say 5 years ago. It was just him on a stool with an acoustic guitar, and he did all of Throwing Copper.
Ah, that's pretty cool.
That was a fucking great show.
He performed at the Classic Rock Fest as Live. There's still a band in my hometown playing Lightning Crashes during a thunderstorm.
Nice.
And this is when people still had blogs. He wrote a really up his own ass review of how it went. I mean, it was cool, but it's like, bro, it wasn't.
Did he think
cool.
It went pretty well?
Yeah, he did.
Okay,
right? He was very positive of the experience.
I bet it was a positive.
The majesty of performing when the thunder's
here. Oh God, Ed.
Right.
Sounds like something Michael Stipe would say. Don't be Michael Stipe.
See, I think Michael Stipe's more of a twat, and I mean that like it's kind of like bitchy. He's catty. I
think old man, current Michael Stipe has a sense of humor about himself.
Oh, I think so. I think so too.
I remember seeing him do a couple of gag bits on Colbert when Colbert still had the rapport.
And I think with him too is he was also very accepting of REM's later downturn in mass popularity.
Oh, okay.
He's just like, we're here for the people that liked us 25 years ago.
We used to be hot.
Yeah, teenagers aren't listening to our 2006 album.
Yeah. So Lisa finds a flyer for Italian lessons. So she thinks she has a channel into learning Italian. In the meantime, Marge meets Tammy, voiced by the delightful Lily Tomlin, who I love, always have. She meets Tammy and her friends, the Cherry Red Tomatoes, which is a weird old lady gang.
Right, yeah.
They all dress alike in their pink hats and red dresses. And I love the line, Tammy, the Lily Tomlin character, is like, "Oh, come on, we're gonna go get margaritas and make good-natured fun of our husbands."
Yeah.
And Marge starts to unload a couple things about Homer, and one of them is, the other night he called out his bowling ball's name during sex.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I laughed at that.
That was good.
Oh god, that was funny. Cut back to the Simpsons house. Lisa's tutor is here, and it's fucking Milhouse.
Yep.
Milhouse is her Italian tutor.
And I loved this story arc.
Yep. I love that we get a little Milhouse background. He stays with his grandma in Tuscany for 2 weeks every summer.
Is it Idioto or Idiota?
Idiota.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
And she hates English because it was an English person in World War II who knocked her up and left.
Yeah.
So she would never let him speak English, so she hits him when he does.
Yeah.
And so that's why he knows Italian. It's dropped in very subtly when she's yelling at him in that flashback. His full name is Milhouse Mussolini Van Houten.
Yeah.
Milhouse's middle name is Mussolini.
Yeah, insane.
Holy shit. We get a fun little trip. They take a scooter or a Vespa down to Little Italy.
They have a volunteer fire department. Yet they have a Little Italy in Springfield.
We don't have a little anything. We don't have and we have a real fire department. So they're down there. Marge, in the meantime, having fun with her new friends. She gets to be a full member of the Cherry Red Tomatoes by getting her own pink hat. And it's at this point we learn about the Cherry Red Tomatoes grand fundraiser, which is to heist Mr. Burns' mansion.
Is the Fabergé eggs?
Yeah, he has 12 priceless Fabergé eggs, and they're going to steal them.
Yeah.
And we get the backstory on why, he was going to donate $1 million to a children's hospital and showed up with the giant check and everything, and then was like, no, I think I'll spend it on myself to make myself live 10 minutes longer. Yeah. And Smithers has the giant marker and writes void on the check and X's it out in the register. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So great.
Just a needlessly evil thing to do. The gang, Marge isn't into this, but the gang bullies are into it anyway. Lisa, in the meantime, kind of catching a crush on Italian Milhouse.
Yes, I love this storyline.
Yeah, I wish this would have been the A story. I could have done with some more of Lisa and Milhouse, and a little less of the Marge story. But it kind of ends here anyway, because Lisa comes to the backyard and some other girl is sitting on Milhouse's lap, and I love how sleazy Italian he's being. Yeah. He's got the sunglasses.
Oh, so great. So great.
So Lisa runs him off in a mirroring of the earlier grandmother episode where she's shouting idioto at him and hitting him with an olive branch. Meanwhile, Homer learns that Marge is going to be involved in this fucking Burns heist, and he goes to stop her, but the cops chase him and follow him. So he leads the cops straight to Burns' manor while the women are all breaking in. They do get the eggs and come out, but they're immediately busted. Burns is there with a fucking blunderbuss, which I love. That's the gun he has. Yeah. I like the aesthetic of a blunderbuss. I think it's a fun, what a dumb gun.
It shoots what you can find.
Yep. Just point and click.
Shove shit in the angry hole and it'll come out in a furious rage.
Yeah. You don't need ammo. You can just... this beer can and this handful of gravel and
what is the range on a blunderbuss? It's like, I bet if you shot someone from 40 feet away, they could catch it out of the air. But 5 feet away, you'd blow a hole in them the size of a football.
Yep. My guess would be about 20 feet is probably your
Shotgun
prime
style,
range. So Burns has them at gunpoint, and they're like, okay, and they give Burns the eggs back, and then they all like fake cry. So he's like, well, what am I gonna do? Take these crying women to court? So he lets them go. They get outside, and Marge is like, oh, I got one for you. And Marge had smuggled one of them out in her hair, and she gives it to Tammy, the Lily Tomlin character, and they part ways. They're like, okay, well, now we can't really have you in the gang anymore. You did just steal this. So, and they go their separate ways. And that's pretty much a wrap on that episode.
I would say 2 interesting things. Well, also, we've already hinted at it. I just like an episode where Milhouse isn't just the butt of a joke. I didn't really enjoy that. And here's something. How many episodes have we seen with this little Bart in it?
That hadn't occurred to me, but yes, he's barely in it.
This may be the least Bart we've ever seen in an episode. The only time I can think of it is when he's sitting with Milhouse, and Milhouse has that new girl on his lap. I was thinking that.
That didn't occur to me. I don't know if Bart speaks in this episode.
He may not. I think maybe it's just 1 or 2 lines to Milhouse as they're sitting there.
Oh, he for sure talks to Ralphie in the Easter egg hunt at the beginning.
Good call.
It's barely. Nancy Cartwright had a day off on this one.
She could literally phone it in. Hold the phone to the mic.
I like that episode. I like all the Italian shit with Milhouse, and I like Lily Tomlin a whole lot. So happy to see her in
Keeping
stuff.
A pretty good run of solid, not spectacular, but solid episodes.
Yeah, good. Good all around.
We are up to episode number 8, The Italian Bob. And I had a quick question before we get into the guts of the episode. Was that playing card couch gag new?
Yes, I believe so. Like, we're early on in a new season, so we're getting a lot of new couch gags.
Kind of feels that way.
There's a pretty good one later that I want to mention.
I think I know what you're talking about. Episode begins with the kids being jazzed about the AV cart being wheeled in.
Fuck yeah. Man, that TV getting wheeled in really hit me in some real nostalgic feels. That tall fucking rack with the wheels on it and a fucking 800-pound CRT ratchet strap to the top.
And on top of the VCR, one of those heavy industrial clamshells with a laminated, typed, like what's on the video. It was never the original slip case.
No, always like a rental plastic
hard case. And always like opaque. It was never clear in our school, at least.
Big fan of TV Day.
In one way that I differ, because the joke is the kids, yay, and then it's a PBS video about diversity, like boo. I'd have never booed.
No. You could have showed me anything.
Yeah, right. You gotta turn the lights off. I've trained myself to sleep with my eyes open. Whatever you want to show, go right ahead. Like, just make a loud noise to startle me when I got to start giving a shit about what you say again. Oh, man, never once would I bitch about a video.
I bet that's a thing that doesn't... I know that's a thing that doesn't happen anymore, because who's rolling a CRT around? Even the poorest of schools certainly aren't rolling a CRT into the classroom.
Do classrooms just have a big flat screen since they're so cheap?
I'd imagine so. Or at the very least, a projector with a pull-down screen.
I got friends that teach school. I'd like to know that. I wonder.
I have a friend who's a teacher, and every kid has iPads, and all of what used to be whiteboards are now giant touch screens.
That is insane.
It is full-on Star Trek in schools now.
I am old enough that they were just starting to phase out chalkboards from marker boards.
Likewise, when I graduated high school, we had one room that had whiteboards instead of chalkboards, and that was like a big fucking deal.
Oh, really? See, we were, even by the time... Yeah, like 5th, 6th grade is when we saw the disappearance of the chalkboards.
We've talked about before, in 99 when I took my first typing class, it was on a typewriter.
Yeah, it is baffling.
My school was that far behind yours at all times.
There was all these letters for grant money that they just couldn't locate your town, so the mailman just threw it in a river. They don't need
never
that,
got there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're throwing computers into Lake Michigan. This is supposed to go to North Dakota, but these people never respond.
Yeah, that school doesn't exist, we don't think.
It's a landfill full of giant Apple Square computers from the mid-'90s just rotting somewhere.
Oh God, how did I even
Right?
get out, man?
It's crazy. Yeah. Like, have you ever noticed from your education that there's some things that that were common knowledge to others that you didn't learn?
Yeah, man, most things.
Yep. I have a buddy that never knew the months in the right order.
Oh,
'Cause they apparently had to hustle through that day because the teachers had a cow and breech birth, so they had to cut her short.
I never had a social studies or history class that taught anything past the end of World War II. So, like, be it American history, world history, social studies, didn't matter. Anything taught by that teacher in that room ended at the end of World War II. And I had several history teachers throughout my high school career. So you're just kicked out into the world in 2003, and then you get to college and you're going, civil rights movement. What is it? Wait, Martin Luther King's a real guy? I thought that was just a day we made in February. Like, not knowing dick about shit when you get out of there.
I bet the whole thing was, it's like, there's people alive they can ask if they have questions.
And I did. I had so many questions.
My dad went to one-room hillbilly school. He never learned how to write cursive. Like, if he signs a check, he just prints it. It's
That's
just
insane to me. Like
doesn't have a signature.
child.
Yep. You can read it as legible as you can read anything else he's written.
Oh, I was there for the cursive. As we've discussed before, I'm a cursive man. So,
And now they're phasing cursive out.
which I will not stand by.
Which I am all for it, baby.
In my country.
Yeah. Embrace technology.
I know the person who is like the 3rd or 4th grade, whenever you learn cursive, I want to say 3rd grade, teacher back home at the school I went to. I know her. It's my friend's younger sister, and she is standing firm and teaching those kids cursive like a good American.
They won't learn they don't know how to turn a computer on, but by God, they'll be able to write in a dead language.
They won't be able to spell anything, but they can write in the fancy letters.
They'll know a cursive Q. Always helps during a job
Kind of
interview.
like a fancy 9.
Yeah. It's like a 2, but backwards. I don't remember. Oh no, capital Z. What? Just print the Z's, okay, kids. Nobody knows what that means.
Oh God! Don't let cursive die. I won't let it.
So, Jesus, we really got off the rails on there. So, an AV car gets wheeled in.
Yeah.
And then the kids watch the video. It's all about diversity. It's just kind of a gag to kind of get the episode rolling.
Right. And Krabappel even says, like, oh, you don't want to watch it, look out the window.
Yep.
Like, I love that she gives them that alternative.
Which they all take.
Which they take.
And we get to see Mr. Burns with his hilarious, like, 1920s Duesenberg or whatever it is. Like,
with his long driving coat. I love the coat.
What is that? I'll have you know this is the first car to outrun a man or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're working on the car, and although it just gets to be too much of a job, and that's what I think Smithers suggests. Why don't you order a new car?
Yeah.
You obviously have the means. So that's the next big thing. And of course, he wants the fanciest thing. It's a Lamborghini Fasterosa is what
Which
Mr.
is
Burns
so fucking
orders.
Funny.
And
That's a good name for a fake exotic car.
Yep.
Because it's Lamborghini Testarossa is what it is. But they mashed up Lamborghini and Bugatti.
And, I didn't even think of the Bugatti. You're totally right. Yeah. And so, of course, what does he do? He has to have it picked up. So he has Homer Simpson go pick it. Like some kind of convoluted, like to save taxes.
Yeah, I'll just send you to go pick it up. Yeah.
So what do we got now? Oh, he gets permission to bring the fam. So it is the Simpsons are going to Italy.
They don't say it, but I did.
Yeah, it's a common trope in the Simpsons. Simpsons go to insert country outside of the United States. Or actually outside of Springfield. They might do these. They go to LA or New York City or whatever, you know, like
this is
Branson.
the latest one. I feel like China was the last one when Patty wanted to adopt.
Yep. If not one of the close to the last ones, yeah. Because this is a common enough theme. It's happened.
Yeah.
5 times or more, I bet.
Oh, easily. Probably 7, 8.
So that's how we get the whole family. He gets permission to bring them along. Homer picks up the car. And because of a highway cheese calamity, he ends up not destroying it, but damaging it.
It's pretty heavily damaged.
So they have to push the car to a local Tuscan village. He runs into a woman that does not speak English, and she's able to convey that only the mayor speaks English. That mayor, Sideshow Bob.
Sure is.
That is when this episode turned around from it. Okay, because I'm not the biggest fan of Simpsons go-to insert location.
You're not a big fan of the travel episodes.
Yep. So, but now I'm in. I'm like, okay, where is this going? So he, of course, they're taken aback because he's trying to murder their children multiple times. And they kind of make like an agreement, but we get a little backstory. He, he wanted to get away from Springfield. He spins a globe. He doesn't get where he wants. He just chooses Italy because he gets frustrated. He gets to this tiny village. They're struggling because the wine harvest is shit. And because of his mutant feet, he can, they all have tiny feet.
Yeah.
And he can mush so many grapes.
He's so good at stomping grapes.
So they love him, and he becomes the mayor of the town. And he is kind of like, hey, everyone, he's like, gets a second to be alone with the Simpsons. It's like, hey, listen, I will help you. I will get your car running. You go on your way. Leave me be.
Yeah.
Because they're very skeptical because they assume he's going to want to try to kill Bart.
Yeah, and he's very much just like, I don't want any trouble, you guys. So this is my new life. Leave me alone.
Yep. And for the most part, and then we get a Trump reference somewhere around here too.
Yeah, when Homer is he's mimicking Mussolini's mannerisms, and Lisa's like, don't fucking do that here.
Yeah.
And he's like, Mussolini, I thought I was doing Trump.
Yeah, which is, what a random
It's
reference.
so fucking weird.
For like 05, 06.
I mean, it's spot on, but it's so fucking weird to...
Right? Yeah.
It's weird to see him pop up in other places.
And so Bob agrees to fix their car, and they have a big town celebration. It's like in the town square.
Yeah.
It's Italy. The kids drink, and Lisa gets wasted. Lisa needs to be careful with mind-altering substances. She seems to be really pulled in by them.
We've seen her have drug problems. We've seen her have Corey addictions.
Yeah, the Corey. We need a comeback of the Corey addictions.
Yeah, Lisa has an addict's mind.
But drunk Lisa spills the beans kind of inadvertently about Sideshow Bob, but enough to, it's over for him in that town.
Accidentally rips off his suit to reveal he's still wearing his
prison
Springfield prison garb.
We get a good gig at a good rib at the Family Guy and American Dad when the Italian cops are looking through that crime book. And there's a picture of both of them under, I think it's whatever the Italian word for plagiarist is.
Yeah, there's one of them is Peter Griffin, and it says plagiarism, and one is of whatever the American Dad's name is, and it says plagiarism of plagiarism.
Yeah. So that was, we haven't got salty Simpsons in a while.
No, so I like when we do, and that was a little jab.
So now Bob is blackballed from his village. So him, and it turns out his family, his wife and his little baby with the giant hair, have sworn a vendetta against the Simpsons. The fancy car ends up being totaled, kind of in a chase with Sideshow Bob, and they're stuck in the city with no car. They find out that Krusty is performing at the opera.
Yeah, he's doing Pagliacci at the opera.
So, which is great because he cannot sing.
Yep, at all.
And we get a good shot of that, how terrible he is. So they go to hoping that Krusty will be able to save them. And then from there, I don't even remember, how does it end with...
This all happens pretty quick.
Yeah.
Bob takes Krusty's place as Pagliacci, and he and his wife and his psycho little kid are all closing in on the Simpsons, who are hiding on stage as extras. And then Krusty just drives onto the stage in his limo, and the Simpsons pile in and take off.
Yeah, it's just they try to get a few gigs of them talking... as if they're performing, they're explaining what happens.
Yeah. There's a couple opera jokes in there.
Yeah,
and Krusty's like, I'll get you out of here, but you got to help me smuggle in. And he's got some artifact. And he's like, stick this in your ass, or however he says it.
Probably not it, but
no, not how he says it for sure. But
we're not quite to that level of having the Simpsons keister things to get across customs. And it just seemed like it was over. I'm sure whoops, tried to squeeze too much in.
Yeah, and then Bob and his family just kind of walk off into the sunset.
Yeah,
so that's what Sideshow Bob's doing now.
Yeah, and fine episode. I mean, yeah. The end just felt like, oh shit, we ran out of time.
Yeah, I like the road trip stories more than you do. So I was pretty okay with this one. Although I would have preferred they stayed in that Tuscan village the whole time and not done the like opera ending. I was like, that kind of petered out for me at that point. But like, I feel like they didn't check off nearly as many Italian things as they could have, when that feels like that's what they do for all of these. Is like, we're doing the Simpsons go to Australia. Let's see, we need kangaroos, we need wallabies, we need boomerangs, you know, like I feel like they didn't hit as many Italian-y things as I expected them to.
You're right, yeah. Like, and I would put the caveat for a travel episode. I am a mark for Sideshow Bob.
Yeah,
and those are often good episodes.
Yeah, I do like when he shows up. So this was a fun. If it hadn't have been called Italian Bob and his face on the thumbnail, I'd have been nicely surprised when he showed up in this one. So. Next one is episode 9, Simpsons Christmas Stories. Not to spoil it right up top, but this is probably my least favorite one of this whole thing.
Yep. Anthology episodes, man, they're tough.
Yeah, man. And we've done Bible stories before, and this is just barely different from that. We start off, we're at the Christmas church service. Lovejoy, everyone's sitting around waiting for Lovejoy, and he's not around. And fucking Ned's phone rings, and I laughed so hard at this. Ned answers his cell phone. Christ is born. Who's on my horn?
Yeah.
Holy shit. That was funny. Lovejoy can't make it because there's been a horrible model train accident. And so he's dealing with that tragedy. And he asks Ned to deliver the good word, and Ned just fucking leaps at this opportunity. He's got the white collar under his clothes and everything.
Of course.
Then gets up there and blacks out because he paper cuts himself on the gospel.
Did you ever have it growing up as a church boy? You ever have it where your priest couldn't make it on a short notice and someone else had to fill in?
No.
I did once.
Really?
That poor son of a bitch. Public speaking, not his. I remember like feeling for him. He was stammering. Turn the page.
Man.
Oh, yeah. Just get us singing, dude. Get us singing so you can take a breath, man.
Get to the songs.
Just shout out
He's
a
up
number.
there sweating.
Yeah. We literally have a book full of songs in front of us. You can just guess a page, sing that song.
No, I don't think the Catholic Church would have tolerated that. I think the Catholic Church would have canceled Mass that
really?
day.
Yeah.
Knowing how the Catholics are about their traditions and all that, I bet they'd have been like, no priest, no church.
That guy's fucked.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, he knows what sugar walls feel like. some nuns saying it like that. No church, no refunds. Closing a big velvet curtain.
Go on, get.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So Homer's going to do it, because of course he is. And he tells the story of the first Christmas, and this is a fucking slog to get through. Like all of these, much like the Bible stories, it's just like, here's the story of the first Christmas, except we're going to stick a couple of jokes in, and it's going to be fun to see who's playing who. Like, Burns is King Herod, and fucking Hibbert and Skinner and somebody else are the three wise men. Dr. Nick shows up to the manger. Like, just
Was young Marlon a ham for acting? Like, did your school have a Christmas play?
No, we didn't have a play. Like, we didn't get into, I wasn't in plays until deep into high school.
Oh, how about your church?
Church would do some manner of singing shit, but probably not any manner of play.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But again, once I got into high school, they would do like the stations play. So I would do that. But no, for the most part, especially as a kid, no.
Oh, really? Interesting. Okay.
Were you up there?
Yeah.
Were you a wise man?
Yep, a little kid. Yeah, I was. Well, I am the age where they stopped being able to have Christian-themed Christmas at the school. Because like first grade, there were shepherds and a Mary and Joseph. Because I remember there's just kids in big robes with canes, like shepherd hooks, made out of the tubes from Christmas paper.
Yeah, sure.
Seeing that picture, but then the next year, I was like a talking donkey, and there was like something like they kind of took JC out of it a little bit.
Yeah,
and then the next year, it was like a detective, like some detectives looking for Santa, and it was more Santa centric.
Yeah.
So of course, there's some grumbling.
A little less Jesus and a little more Frosty.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a little less Lord. Still magic though. Frosty's magic. No, I mean, can't hook you up like Jesus can. No Santa. Who am I? I mean, Santa's the one you really should be kneeling for with the holidays. Lord Santa, give me the G.I. Joes I so richly deserve.
No, we were never into that. Like I said, odds are we were just singing some fucking shit up there in the gym, standing on the risers, sweating.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Won't let Satan it out. I'm gonna let it shine.
I don't think that's a real lyric.
That is totally the real lyric.
I don't think that's I think that's the lyric they gave you kids.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah.
That's not a real lyric.
Little kids, they gotta make it cute. Don't let Satan it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, we were adorable.
Oh my God. Somebody get a fucking Skrillex remix of that.
God, that'd be great.
Yeah, this fucking first Christmas story is just, fucking Herod shows up to kill little baby Jesus Bart, and Homer crushes the army with a tree, which makes the first Christmas tree. Not a fan.
With ya.
We come back from commercial with the second one in the anthology, which I like better.
Way better.
We're back in the Simpson house, and Abe falls down the chimney with a bear trap because he's trying to ensnare and kill Santa Claus.
Yep.
I'm already on board.
So good.
Turns out he had a brother in World War I?
Two. Yep.
I think he served in both.
Yep,
I think
we've reached that point. Reached that point. Yep.
So he's in because he's in the Pacific Theater. He and his brother Cyrus are both Navy pilots in the Pacific Theater. They're under attack. Cyrus and Abe both go up and get shot down. Abe and Burns, who was his co-pilot, Abe's co-pilot, are stranded on an island, and there's a lot of fun sexual tension between the two. Some fun bits of them on that island together. And then Burns hops in their salvaged machine gun and shoots down Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And Abe insists they help him get on his way. They fix his sleigh, but then Burns is a shitheel and he steals it. Abe hops on one of the spare reindeer and gives chase. This fucking dogfight action scene of him chasing the sleigh on the reindeer is super funny. He gets the sleigh back from Burns, and Santa goes to take off to go deliver presents, and he lets them know that he'll come back for them and pick them up, but he never does.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we cut back to the present where Grandpa's telling this story, and there's a ruckus going on in the living room, so they run in there. Santa has left Cyrus's watch for Abe and tells him that his brother is still alive in Tahiti. He just never came back. And so we get like a quick wrap-up ending of Santa and Abe and his long-lost brother Cyrus chilling on the beach in Tahiti, drinking pineapple drinks.
There was in this bit here, there's a great bit where Grandpa ends up in a garbage can or a dumpster. Like, because he has to spend Christmas with the raccoons.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God.
And one of the raccoons got him a little present.
You got me a gift, rancid lard? And he's like, oh, you shouldn't have. And, like, some of the raccoons have Christmas sweaters on it, but rancid lard as a Christmas gift is so good.
Yeah, that was fun. One last one, because we got to do them in threes. We get the parents at the Nutcracker, their kids' theater version of the Nutcracker. The parents bail after the first act. I love that the music teacher protests, like, no, this is just intermission, and they fucking leave anyway. And then we get like a long musical number about Christmas consumerism, and it's all set to the Nutcracker music because Lisa like makes the joke. Homer's like, God, I'm gonna have that Nutcracker music stuck in my head now, and Lisa goes, well, yeah, you hear it a lot this time of year because you don't have to pay for the royalties for it. And then they do a whole musical sequence to the Nutcracker music, which I thought was a fun meta joke, but I still didn't like having to hear it because I don't like musical numbers or the Nutcracker.
Yep, with you on both accounts.
We get a montage of Moe's suicide attempts, which is fun.
That was good.
He makes that popcorn garland and then makes a noose out of it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work. And he goes sledding across the highway and doesn't get hit. That was fun. And then we wrap up with Homer and Marge exchanging gifts, but Homer didn't get her a present, and now all the stores are closed, so he comes back and is like about to apologize, but she gives him a present, and he opens it up, and it's a present for her.
Yeah.
Because I knew you wouldn't remember, and it's a photo of the two of them, and they have their sweet moment. And that's the episode, and I could have done without it.
Even, like, this has been a wholesome group of episodes. That ending was so wholesome.
Yeah.
The Marge.
Them in the fireplace, yeah. But I was still like, he still didn't get you a present, this shithead. Like...
Oh, yeah. But you're right, though. I'd kind of forgotten about this episode being part of this batch because it's forgettable. It's like, oh, yeah, this wasn't all good.
As soon as I saw the title of this one, I was like, fuck me. We're going to do another one of these.
I think I might have maybe had a little more optimism because, like, well, we just had a Simpsons go to insert location here episode. So I was like, well, maybe they're going to turn this around, too, because I enjoyed that previous one more than I thought I would. So, but nope. Reality set in with this one. No.
Yeah, that was... not a fan.
We are up to episode 10, Homer's Paternity Coot. Is that a misspelling or is that the title?
That was the title.
I was not trusting myself.
It's like paternity suit, but it's an old coot.
Old coot. Marge's rage against the new toll road system leads to countless folks blowing their tires out because she... in her rage, notices there's like a cheapskate trail or something like that. It's a gravel road they could take around the toll bridge, but the city and or state and or federal government steps in and forces you to go down that because if you back up, there are spikes going the other way, which that probably exists, I guess.
Those reverse spikes?
Yeah.
That's a real thing, yeah. Like you can't back up. These are one way.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. That's one thing we're so unfamiliar with here, like is toll bridges.
Yeah. If I came up to a toll booth, I would vapor lock. I'd be like, I don't know what to do.
But here's money.
I don't have any change. Do you take a card?
I don't throw my wallet in here. Is that good? Am I okay? Am I good? Tell me I'm good.
How many kisses do I got to blow you before you just let me go?
I red-eyed it through Chicago one night to get to a wedding in Michigan, and I was hitting rush hour traffic at like 6 a.m. I ran every toll booth. I don't know how these work. I don't know if they're for me. I don't know if they're forever because some lanes didn't have them. So I just fucking put the hammer down. Told my buddy because I was driving his car, we'll deal with it when we get back.
When I was in Denver a few weeks ago, like there's just lanes on the highway where it's like this is a toll lane and I don't know what that means, but like there's people just flying by in this toll lane. It's some manner of express lane that maybe you pay for, but there's no toll booths. It just says toll lane.
Yeah.
Like if I were to drive over there, am I going to get a bill in the mail?
Yeah.
I don't know how any of this works. I'm just some fucking hayseed.
How many people do I need in my car? Is this too many? Not enough?
Is it some manner of carpool lane? Yeah. I don't know. I just stayed in the middle lane the whole way.
Why is it so hard? Make this less. I just need to get somewhere. So
I like the little bit here. We learn that Quimby is putting up that toll booth because they need the money to de-python the city fountain because it's full of snakes. I thought that was a fun little bit.
Not just snakes,
pythons,
constrictors, yeah.
Jungle snakes.
So because of Marge's actions, she causes dozens, if not hundreds of cars to blow their tires out, and that means they have to spend a lot of time loading up those old tires and adding to the long-running historic Springfield tire fire.
Yeah.
Which the increase of heat and smoke causes the polar ice caps on Mount Springfield because of course they have a mountain that big, to start melting. And I don't know who discovers it first, if it's one of the scientists, but they found a mail carrier frozen in ice
from the 60s.
Yeah, and Frank uses some kind of, I don't know what it would be, to measure the length of his bell bottoms to gauge what year it was.
Yeah.
And what I thought was a fun idea was that the post office vows to deliver the mail that guy still had in his mail bag.
I loved this setup. We often in The Simpsons have an overly complicated setup to get us to what the episode is about.
Yeah.
And I loved this one. All of it. The toll booth. If you think about it from a writing perspective, how do we get to mailman frozen with old letters and what that might reveal?
Or how do we just reveal that Homer's dad might not be his dad?
Yeah, that's probably where
That's
it starts.
Insane
How do you
way of
reverse
getting there.
engineer that? What if they got to set up a toll booth because there's pythons and
tire burn,
and then they pop the tires, and then the tire fire melts the mountaintop. There we go. We
probably went backwards. It probably started with, okay, it'll be the smoke from the tire fire, but why is there more smoke from the tire fire? Oh, they had to burn more tires, but why would they have to burn more tires? It's
because they popped a bunch of them because of the spike strips leading to the toll booth.
And someone on the way to the writer's room got stuck in a toll booth, and they were pissy about toll booths, so they're complaining about it, so it was on people's minds.
Yeah.
We're putting this all together.
I thought this was a hilarious startup, like an on-ramp.
Yep, I was very engaged. We get a couple good gag letters. One of the letters goes to Mr. Largo, which is apparently the name of the music teacher. I don't know if we get that name very often.
Yeah, I don't know that we've heard that name before.
And it turns out he was accepted to Juilliard, so he wouldn't have to be teaching these dumb kids.
My favorite was the Mo letter.
Yeah. He finds out he's not contagious, I think.
He's not allergic to pollen.
That's what it is. So I can go outside and be a kid.
I can finally go be a kid.
And yeah, he just walks out. There are the twin girls just doing double dutch. They're on one end of each of it. Mo just jumps in. They don't hesitate. They just keep swinging them jump ropes. I love that.
And he's singing the jump rope song, and he's got his propeller hat on and his suspenders.
It's to be a little boy.
Oh God, I loved that.
Yeah, so that was pretty good. But for the main part of the story is a letter is addressed to Abe Simpson that shows that Homer is not his son. I think, where does she meet? Oh, he's a lifeguard.
He's a lifeguard, yeah.
She fell for him when she was at the beach. And that's kind of how that's where the storyline really gets kicked off there. So Homer is intrigued by this idea, so he sets out to find his biological dad. Turns out to be named Mason Fairbanks, a fancy British seafaring treasure hunter.
Yep. Sunken ship treasure hunter. Kind of a James Cameron type.
And right away, Abe is kind of, which he has all the right to be, kind of salty about all this. And that's my kid, blah, 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 blah. And they end up doing a DNA test. Sure enough, Homer is of Fairbanks stock. He ain't a Simpson. So from there, he is just in love. He's like a little kid, just in love with Mr. Fairbanks. Gets to check out his fancy place, and his dad is awesome. The new dad is awesome.
Yeah,
good
Mason's
guy.
pretty cool.
Brings him into the family, explains things. He meets the extended family, gets along with all of them, and introduces Homer as a son. He's going to help him with his next big mission.
Yeah, he gets his own submarine.
Because I believe it's a Spanish ship that sunk hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, full of emeralds.
Yep. So they go down, they find it, and they're running their treasure up to the top. Homer grabs his with his little ship's claw arms, his little sub's claws. He gets stuck between some rocks.
Yeah.
Has a kind of a series of flashbacks, some of which were good, cute, but also like him, God, get my keys. And 4-year-old Homer gets the keys and then just peels out of the driveway.
Yeah, and takes the car. Yeah.
So we get a lot of that,
Get a lot of sweet flashbacks to Homer, young Homer and Abe.
Yep. So all of this comes to pass while Homer is in his coma. He ends up waking up. Well, I'm sorry, I guess we don't even know it's a coma. He's just passing out from lack of oxygen. And wasn't he out for a few days? Is that what they say?
He wakes up in the hospital 3 days later.
Yep, surrounded by his friends and family, and that's when he kind of, because he had been a dick to Grandpa Abe up until this point.
Oh, yeah.
He just because there's there's a great sign where the rest of the family visits him in the old folks' home. It's just this full camera shot.
Oh my God!
It's just, and Lisa's the MVP. Like, what's that fan set at? It's set at low. Oh, I would have guessed medium. Well, you would have guessed wrong. It's like, Jesus.
The most awkward small talk.
What a conversation. Yeah, like, I mean, give it to Lisa for trying, but my God, does that sound miserable?
I like that when Homer wakes up in the hospital, Marge says, I knew you'd pull through. I never gave up, no matter what that pushy casket salesman said.
I like the idea of casket salesmen just being real jackals when it comes to someone being sick.
Yeah, they're like ambulance chasers.
Why not invest now? Save yourself the sorrow.
You don't want to do this when you're sad.
Yeah. Get the best deal possible. So then we find out I did not see this coming. Grandpa actually switched the results of the DNA test when he saw how happy Homer was with Mr. Fairbanks.
Yeah.
Which that's a pretty selfless move for a guy that has nothing else besides Homer and his family. Like, no one else comes to visit. So, and then that's kind of like, you're still my dad, but you were my dad before. So it was again, the wholesome episodes keep happening here.
Very wholesome episode.
And what is Mr. Fairbanks' reaction to all this? Is he kind of cool with it?
I don't know that we get his reaction to all this.
But he is there when he wakes up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I think we just wrap up the episode with them eating ham out of that feeding tube.
Oh, that feeding tube's a good sight gag.
So gross.
So sick. This ham's cold. He shoves it. Apparently it sucks in as well as expels food. Doesn't make any sense. But yeah, fun, good episode.
Good episode. Real wholesome.
Yeah. Fun might not be the right word. Wholesome is the right
fun
word.
is not the right. You're right.
Yeah.
Earlier, I like that we get just a little taste that the bullies have an all-access show, and they're interviewing William H. Macy and then kick the dog shit out of him.
Oh, that was good.
And this is the episode with the couch gag that I loved, where the family runs in and sits on the couch and someone takes a family portrait and it says 2005, and then it flashes to 2006 and they're all in funeral clothes and Homer's not there, and then it flashes to 2007 and it's the whole family, but Lenny is the dad now.
Oh, you're
and
right.
it does like 5 more real funny bits. The last one is them all as robots or something.
Yeah.
But I just love how dark that one is. And I'm pretty sure there's another flash where then Marge is gone and it's the kids with Lenny and Carl.
Yep, that's exact. I know there's one where Marge is gone.
God damn it, that was funny.
Yeah.
All in all, pretty solid batch. Boy, that Christmas one is a fucking turd.
Definitely.
In the punch bowl, but everything else pretty good.
I think is an example of batches that the stories are better than the gags.
Yes.
Like the stories are I was engaged with most of these.
Yeah, I think there are good little jokes here and there, but it's the whole arcs of the stories are good. Yep. So
I'd agree with that.
And that'll wrap up another episode of America's Barley Basket.
We did it.
You want to do it again next week?
Why not? What are you going to do? You're not going to watch The Simpsons?
I ain't got anything else going on.
Frankly, we're pacing ourselves. We could probably do 20 of these a week.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna eat leftover Halloween candy till I can't feel my feet. Is my only other plan.
We got 2 of them. What are you? We got to hog all the feet, like you're hogging all the Simpsons. Just give a foot away. Holy shit! A human foot in like a Good Samaritan basket in a church lobby. Like 1 mitten, 1 shoe, 1 foot. Whose scarf is this?
Whose fucking foot is?
There's so many toes in here.
Why is it so black?
Oh.
So next week will be episodes 11 through 15.
And hands in the middle for us keeping our feet and toes for the foreseeable future.
And go.
Feet.
Yeah, feet.
Go feet. Look at these little tootsies. Who want to lose these?
No, not those delicate little tootsies. You do have pretty dainty lady feet for a fella your size.
But what it is, I wear size 11 shoes.
Really?
Yeah. It's just the rest of me. I get that all the time.
Oh, is it perspective?
Yeah, it is,
Oh,
which is alarming, right? Yeah, right?
sorry, bro.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And I mean, I do have little hands, but I wear like a size medium or large glove. It's again, look at the rest of me when you have a torso the size of a Chevy Cruze.
Because I'm looking at you right now, sitting in that recliner, all kicked back, with still an alarming amount of white leg, and not as much leg hair as you would think. And
He's only 42, 42.
And then these little ballerina's feet.
My little slippers on, my little slipper socks. Yeah.
Oh, shit. We're telling jokes this weekend.
Fuck yeah, we are.
In Dickinson, North Dakota.
At the Rock.
At the Rock.
Ready to rock?
Get your tickets wherever, I guess. Fucking Google it.
Our Dickinson fans.
Yeah.
I believe they have an airport there if you want to fly in for the occasion.
Oh, sure, yeah. Fly in for the comedy show. We should fly in for the comedy show.
Right, yeah.
Fuck road tripping.
Yeah, if I can do it like Zeppelin in 74.
What do you think Fargo to Dickinson is on a plane? 40 minutes?
Yeah, right?
If
yeah.
that.
Or they even come to a complete stop. If you don't jump off, we're just going to keep flying.
The green light goes.
Like a bush plane.
Yeah.
Like we can't come to a complete stop. This lake's not long enough.
So we'll do that. Outside of that, what's going on in your life?
You're looking at it, brother.
Okay.
Just keeping these little tootsies. I got a hunch these toenails could use some work.
Oh, yeah? You starting to ruin shoes?
Not quite there yet. They're not curling over yet.
Starting to catch them on your bed sheets?
Doesn't sound like I have tap shoes on right now. Clickety clack, clickety clack. Oh, gross.
Toenails are gross. Feet are gross.
Oh, except my cuties. These little cutie pies.
God damn it. We got to go. So, episodes 11 through 15 for next week.
I'll be here.
Find us on the internet at Barley Basket USA on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. BarleyBasketUSA@gmail.com is the email address. Nathan and his dainty cuties will be back next week.
Bye, everybody.